What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to the Full 90. Today, it is time for the Week 18 Premier League predictions, and this is going to be a part 1 of the Week 18 predictions. I've done it based on the Premier League fixture lists on Google because it's quite hard to navigate. There are some Week 18 fixtures that are after the entirety of Week 19, so I'm going to include half of the Week 18 fixtures and the postponed Burnley Man United fixture in this episode, and then the other half of the Premier League Week 18 predictions and the postponed Man City prediction in the part 2 episode after I've done the Week 19 episode. So it's pretty confusing. There's a lot of stuff to get through, but I'm going to give a shout out first of all to Sabotage TV, who left their predictions on the previous video, and they absolutely smashed it. You can pause the video if you want to look at their score predictions and their tips, but there were some really good and unique tips in there. So if you guys want a chance to be featured in the next episode of the Premier League predictions, then please do leave your predictions down in the comments below. And also, I want to give a massive shout out to the guys over at OneFootball, who are sponsoring this video and sponsoring the channel going into the year 2021, and they are keeping this channel going. If you don't know what OneFootball is, it is a free app available on iOS and Android, and it's got everything that you could possibly want when it comes to football, whether that's live scores, transfer news, because obviously the January transfer window is open, so there's all sorts of stories flying around. You can favorite your favorite clubs, your favorite leagues, so you can never miss a single news story related to you and stuff that you want to see. So definitely go and check out OneFootball using the link in the description, and massive shout out to those guys over there for sponsoring this video and sponsoring the channel. So now we have 6 fixtures to look into and get through. So we have Sheffield United up against Newcastle, and Sheffield United, man, they really are struggling. I gave them sort of the benefit of the doubt in the previous week. I thought maybe they could get a draw against Crystal Palace because Palace have been a little bit up and down lately, and Palace are prone to just losing random games. So I thought Sheffield United would be able to get something. They couldn't. They were soundly beaten, and I don't see Sheffield United getting anything against this Newcastle side either, and that says a lot because Newcastle themselves really aren't in fantastic form. So I think it's going to be low scoring naturally, and I'm going to go for a 1-0 Newcastle away win. I was tempted to go for a 2-1, but Sheffield United, it's so hard to see them not losing now because they do it so often. But I'm going to go for the 1-0 win to Newcastle, and my tip is going to be Newcastle double chance and under 3.5 goals at 1.83. Now, that's interesting because the bookies actually think Sheffield United are the favourites to win this game, but Newcastle's recent record against Sheffield United is fairly decent. So I think backing Newcastle, even double chance alone, is around about 1.5. So that may be worth a shout because all you're doing is backing Sheffield United to do the same thing they've done in every other game and not win. So maybe that's worth a shout. Now, next up, the postponed fixture that could see Man United go top of the league. It is Burnley up against Manchester United, and I think this is going to be a convincing win for Man United. Burnley barely being able to make it past MK Dons, scoring the late equaliser after the stoppage time had actually ended. You know, they were into added stoppage time that you could argue maybe shouldn't have even happened, and then won on penalties. Manchester United getting through the FA Cup against Watford 1-0 thanks to another early Scott McTominay goal. I think Man United will beat Burnley convincingly. Their away form has been very good. I feel like the team believe that they can actually do something this year. And remember at the start of the season, before anything happened, I said Man United were in the Europa League, and that relied on them finishing 3rd in their group, which they did, and now they are in the Europa League. But I didn't foresee them pushing for the title in the way that they have. They are at the very minimum in a title race, so perhaps they might actually sack the Europa League off and just focus on the Premier League, because all the Europa League does, if you win it, gets you in the Champions League. It does get you silverware, but Man United, you could argue, are pretty much guaranteed top 4 now, so they will be in the Champions League next year, so maybe they'll push harder for the league. But I'm going to go for a 3-0 away win to Man United. I was contemplating giving Burnley a goal because Man United have still been conceding a few goals. They tend to win with conceding, but I just don't know about this Burnley side. So I'm going to go for the 3-0 win, and my tip, I cannot look past it. It's going to be Manchester United to score a penalty at odds of 4. So if you put, cheeky tenner on that, could see a pretty nice return. So I'm going to go with that. Next up is Wolves up against Everton. I mean, last week I predicted Brighton and Wolves to draw. That was my tip at 3.25. And they did draw, thank goodness, because my score prediction was 0-0 and it ended 3-3. So nevertheless, the tip was right. Everton, on the other hand, a shock defeat, some could argue, to West Ham. I'm pretty sure Sabotage TV was one of the only ones in my comments who predicted West Ham to win. And not only that, he predicted a correct score as well. So I think this is going to be a very, very close game. Wolves, you could argue they threw it away, drawing 3-3 against Brighton. And Everton, they'll be very disappointed not to get more at Goodison Park, where they're typically a very strong and difficult team to beat. So I think this is going to be a close game. I think maybe if Wolves are at full strength, you could see them winning at home. You could also see Everton winning this game on some occasions. So I really struggle to separate the two teams. They've always been in and around each other in these last few years, occupying those, lower top of the half table spots, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, those sort of spots. They're always there. So I can't separate the two teams. I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw. Now, next up, it is Manchester City up against Brighton. Man City taking no prisoners in the FA Cup fixture against Birmingham, fielding a fairly strong team and winning fairly comfortably 3-0. Brighton, I mean, they got the 3-3 draw with Wolves, which was, pretty good for them, but I don't see Brighton getting anything at all from this game because they've only won a couple of games all season. They draw a lot. I've had a lot of faith in the way Brighton play football, but it just hasn't been reaping the results, and going to the Etihad against Manchester City is not the place to try and rectify that. So I'm going to go for a 3-0 win to Manchester City, and my tip is going to be Man City half-time, full-time, and over 2.5 goals. So let's say they're winning half-time 1-0. That's fine. They go and win 3-0 like I've predicted. That tip comes true at 2.05. That's some very good value because Brighton, maybe they have a goal in them. Obviously, that would be a little bit tricky with the half-time, full-time if Brighton get an early goal, but I could even see City leading this game 2-1 or 3-1 at half-time, and then there being very few goals in the second half. Either way, the tip would still come true. So that is going to be my prediction there. Next up, it is Aston Villa up against Tottenham. Aston Villa put in a valiant effort against Manchester United to no avail, and Tottenham soundly dispatching of Leeds, although, winning 3-0 against Leeds isn't really that big of a feat, considering that Crawley Town did it to Leeds in the FA Cup. But nevertheless, I think this is going to be a very exciting game. I didn't know which way to go. I think Aston Villa have been playing very, very well this season, but Tottenham will be looking to continue their winning streak. So I'm going to go for a 2-1 away win to Tottenham, but on the basis that Aston Villa have been playing so well, and I'm not entirely sure on that result, and I think they will cause Tottenham some troubles and will therefore be a slightly higher scoring game than Tottenham are used to. I'm going to go for a 2-1 win to Tottenham, as I said. I think I said anyway, but my tip is going to be over 2.5 goals at 1.53, because that way, if Villa do get on the score sheet, I think it's likely Tottenham will score a couple, but if Villa have a really good game and score 2, maybe 3, this tip will come true even if I get the result totally wrong. Now, the final fixture in this part of the game week, I could say, is Arsenal up against Crystal Palace. Now, Arsenal's recent record against Crystal Palace isn't that great. Some draws, a loss here and there. Both teams seem to score in this fixture very, very frequently, and surprisingly, they're usually quite high-scoring games between Arsenal and Crystal Palace, which you might think is, well, very surprising, because Crystal Palace games, they tend to be, we'll forget Liverpool's game, tend to be lower scoring because Palace themselves are usually quite blunt, and Arsenal games this season have also been quite low scoring, minus the 4-0 win against West Brom in the previous game week. So I think this one is going to be high scoring. I think Arsenal have got the form and the belief to win this game, but I think they've also got the defensive frailties that Arsenal still sometimes do have, and Palace do have some good attacking players that are capable of breaking through that defence. So I'm going to go for a 3-2 home win to Arsenal, and my tip is going to be both teams to score at 1.95, so my same tip as the Wolves and Everton fixture. So that is going to do it for the Week 18 Part 1 fixtures. If you did enjoy this video, please do drop a like, subscribe down below because we're very, very close to 15,000 subscribers. Leave your predictions down in the comments for a chance to be featured in the Week 19 episode, which will be up in a few days. And once again, massive shout out to OneFootball for sponsoring this video and making it all possible. Definitely go and check them out using the link in the description. But that is going to do it from me, and I will see you in the next video very soon.